All right, baseball fans, welcome to a deep dive.
Ooh, deep dive.
That's right, we're diving deep into baseball history.
I like it. I like it.
But get this, we're focusing on one specific date.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep, February 19th, and let me tell you, it's packed with stories you won't believe what happened on this date over the years.
I'm intrigued.
Lay it on me. So we're talking everything from those iconic snacks you grab at the ballpark to legendary players, you know, the ones who made history.
Yeah.
And even those record-breaking contracts.
Oh, the money.
Yeah, the big bucks, but also moments that,
Yeah.
change the game forever.
Okay, so we're not just talking like a straight timeline of February 19th.
No.
We're jumping around.
We're all over the place.
Connecting the dots.
Exactly. We're going to find those hidden connections, those threads that make baseball history so fascinating.
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, let's start with something I bet everyone listening has enjoyed at a game or two.
Okay, I'm listening.
Cracker Jacks.
The classic.
Oh, yeah. On February 19th, 1912.
Okay.
They came out with that slogan, a prize in every box.
No, that's marketing genius.
But it wasn't just a gimmick.
Oh.
2 years later, in 1914,
Okay.
bam, they started putting baseball cards in those boxes.
Oh, wow. So you're telling me that people were just munching on Cracker Jacks and pulling out a card?
Exactly.
Featuring like Ty Cobb or some other legend?
Maybe even a player from the short-lived Federal League.
Wow, that's a piece of history right there.
It's crazy, right? Like a simple snack
Totally.
becomes a part of baseball history.
It makes you wonder how many of those cards are still out there.
Right.
Tucked away in a shoebox.
In an attic somewhere.
Just waiting to be rediscovered.
It's like a treasure hunt.
Absolutely. All right, so from Cracker Jacks, let's jump ahead a few decades.
Okay, I'm with you.
To February 19th, 1935.
All right.
And talk about another legend, Lou Gehrig.
The Iron Horse himself?
That's the one on this date. He
Yeah.
signed a contract with the New York Yankees for $30,000.
Yeah, $30,000 back then. That's
Oh, yeah. A big chunk of change.
big time. But here's the thing.
What's that?
Gehrig actually wanted $35,000.
Oh, so he didn't get what he asked for.
Nope. But if you look at his stats from the previous season,
Okay, let's hear it.
he hit a .363 batting average, 49 home runs, and a league-leading 165 RBIs.
Wow. Those are some serious numbers.
No kidding. So you can kind of see why he felt he deserved a little more.
Yeah, makes you think about those old-time salaries.
Right.
Like, was Gehrig's request out of line?
Or was he ahead of his time?
Thinking about a player's market value.
It's a good question, and it shows how much baseball's financial side has changed.
Oh, for sure.
But Gehrig's legacy goes way beyond money.
Absolutely. His story's about so much more.
Dedication, perseverance, the human spirit.
It's why fans still connect with him today.
Absolutely. All right, so our next stop on this February 19th journey
Hit me.
takes us to a different kind of challenge, one that unfortunately cut a promising career short.
This doesn't sound good.
It's not on February 19th, 1942.
Okay.
Hal Trotsky, a first baseman for the Cleveland Indians,
They
announced his retirement.
retire. How old was he?
Only 29.
29. That's way too young.
It is, and here's the reason.
I'm guessing it's not because he wanted to relax on a beach somewhere?
Nope, he was suffering from severe migraines.
Migraines.
Yeah, they'd been plaguing him since 1938.
Oh, man. And this guy had a lifetime batting average of 302.
That's right. But the migraines forced him to step away from the game he loved.
It's a tough reminder that behind those amazing stats, behind the highlights, these are real people.
Absolutely.
Living with real-life struggle.
And sometimes those struggles impact their careers, even if they're incredibly talented.
It's true, and it's heartbreaking.
Now, Trotsky did try to come back.
He did.
A couple of years later with the White Sox.
Oh, wow. So the pull of the game was strong.
It really was. It shows that desire to overcome obstacles.
For sure. But his story also highlights how health issues can affect even the best athletes.
It's a reminder that they're human, just like us.
All right, so where to next on our February 19th adventure?
Let's head south of the border.
South of the border. Interesting.
Yeah, on February 19th, 1946.
Okay.
Danny Gardella
Danny Gardella.
becomes the first Major League Baseball player to join the Mexican League.
Really, the Mexican League, huh?
Yep, and get this,
What's that?
they offered him a $10,000 contract.
$10,000 now. Was that a lot back then?
It was more than double what the New York Giants were willing to pay him.
Wow. So the Mexican League was Serious?
Oh, yeah. They were competing for talent.
That's a big move.
It really was. It shows you how things were changing.
Yeah, like the dynamics of the sport.
Exactly.
It makes you think about the whole financial structure of the MLB back then.
For sure.
And what might have led players to look for opportunities elsewhere.
Maybe some players felt undervalued.
Maybe they saw a chance to make more money.
Or maybe they just wanted a new adventure.
It's fascinating to think about.
It really is. This February 19th is already shaping up to be a pivotal date.
Yeah, we've got iconic snacks contracts a player heading south of the border.
It's showing us the appeal of the game, but also the challenges that players in the league were facing.
Okay, what's next?
Well, from south of the border, we're heading to the skies.
The skies.
Yep. Get ready for a story of wartime heroics.
Oh, wow, this is getting good.
It is. We've also got controversial suspensions and a major power shift between players and owners coming up.
I can't wait. Bring it on. So from those ballparks and contract talks, our February 19th journey takes us to the skies above Korea.
1953, to be exact.
Right, 1953. We often think about athletes for, their on-field accomplishments.
Home runs, strikeouts, all that.
Exactly. But this story, it shows a different kind of courage.
We're talking about Ted Williams.
One of baseball's greatest hitters.
Oh, absolutely.
But he was also a Marine Corps pilot.
Decorated Marine Corps pilot.
That's right. And on this particular February 19th, he found himself in a pretty intense situation during a combat mission. His plane was hit by enemy fire.
Yeah, a Panther aircraft.
Forced him to make an emergency landing.
Imagine that, trying to land a damaged plane.
In a war zone.
Yeah, the nerves of steel that must take, his aircraft was practically destroyed.
But thankfully, he only had minor injuries.
A real testament to his skill and bravery, I think.
It really makes you think about these athletes, their willingness to serve their country even during their careers.
Putting their lives on the line.
It's incredible. All right. So from wartime heroics, let's fast forward to February 19th, 1970.
1970, okay.
A story that really shook the baseball world.
Oh, this sounds serious.
This was the day Denny McLain.
Denny McLain, the star.
For the Detroit Tigers,
The guy won back-to-back Cy Young Awards.
And a World Series title.
Just a few years earlier.
He was suspended indefinitely.
Suspended what for?
His involvement in illegal gambling.
Gambling? Oh, no.
Yeah, this wasn't just any player.
A Cy Young winner caught up in gambling.
Wow. It was a big deal. It really struck at the heart of the game's integrity.
I bet fans were shocked.
They were. This scandal really shook their trust.
So what happened to McLain after all this?
Well, Commissioner Bowie Kuhn took a firm stance.
Okay.
Suspended him for the whole 1970 season.
The entire season? Wow.
It sent a message that the league was serious about tackling gambling.
Yeah, they had to protect the game's integrity.
Absolutely. It makes you wonder if the scandal changed how they approached gambling.
You think they cracked down even more?
Maybe stricter rules monitoring system, something like that.
It would make sense. McLain's case was a wake-up call.
It really was. All right, moving on to February 19th, 1977.
1977. Okay.
This date brings us to the Oakland A's.
The A's, a team known for their, well, let's say unique strategies.
And their owner, Charlie Finley.
Oh, yeah. Finley always pushing the boundaries.
And this day, he tried to sell pitcher Paul Lindblad. To the Texas Rangers.
For how much?
$400,000.
Okay, and what's the story here?
Well, previous A's deals had been blocked by the commissioner.
But this time...
Commissioner Kuhn let it go through.
That's interesting. Why the change?
Maybe a power shift? Maybe Kuhn saw this deal differently.
Or maybe he just couldn't block it legally. Who knows?
It really highlights those behind-the-scenes power struggles.
The constant maneuvering.
The business side of baseball.
It's always there lurking beneath the surface.
Okay, so speaking of shaping the league, let's talk about February 19th, 1981.
1981, what happened then?
This date, it's etched in the minds of players, owners, fans alike.
This must be big.
This was the day Major League Baseball implemented a controversial compensation plan for free agent signings.
Oh, free agency. That's always a hot topic.
It is. Under this plan, any team that signed a free agent, they had to give up a player from their roster or a draft pick to the player's former team.
So basically making it harder to sign free agents.
Yeah, the players were not happy.
I can imagine limiting their movement and their earning potential.
It led to a mid-season strike.
A strike.
Wow, the second one in just 4 years.
Things must have been really tense.
The strike canceled 713 games.
That's a huge chunk of the season.
It had a massive impact on the 1981 season.
So this wasn't just a small disagreement.
This was a major labor dispute.
It really exposed that tension between players and owners.
Over free agency, salary arbitration, the whole financial structure of the game.
It's amazing how this date connects so many parts of baseball history.
I know, right from wartime heroics to labor disputes.
It shows that the game's about more than just what happens on the field.
It's about the social and economic forces, too.
Exactly. And speaking of those forces, let's move to a story of individual triumph.
All right, I like the sound of that.
February 19th, 1983.
Okay.
It marks a big victory for players, especially those from Latin America.
Are you talking about Fernando Valenzuela?
Fernando Mania himself.
The pitching sensation for the Dodgers.
That's right. On this day, at just 22 years old,
22 years old.
he became the first player to win a $1 million salary through arbitration.
Wow, $1 million back then.
It was groundbreaking, a testament to his talent and a symbol of the growing power of players.
That must have been an incredible moment for him.
Not just the money, but the recognition.
Yeah, the recognition of his worth.
It sent a message that players, especially from Latin America, they were a force to be reckoned with.
A victory for Valenzuela and all players fighting for fair compensation.
Absolutely.
From labor disputes to $1 million contracts, this February 19th is full of surprises.
It really is. And we're not done yet. Our deep dive continues into the 21st century.
Okay, hit me with it.
All right, so picture this. February 19th, 2002.
2002.
Jose Canseco.
The Bash brother himself.
Yeah, the former MVP known for his power.
Incredible power.
He signs a minor league contract with the Montreal Expos.
The Expo's interesting.
He was 37 years old at the time.
Okay.
And just 38 home runs shy of 500.
500, that's the magic number for a lot of sluggers.
It is even after all that success, some guys are still chasing those milestones.
What was the reaction back then?
Well, some people saw it as a legitimate shot at 500. You know, he still had that power.
Yeah, that raw talent.
But others thought it was more of a publicity stunt.
A way to stay in the spotlight.
Maybe a little of both.
In the end, he fell short of 500.
Yeah, but his attempt definitely captured people's attention.
It added another chapter to his already colorful career.
It's a good reminder that no matter how great a career is, it has to end eventually.
But even in those later years, some players find ways to make their mark.
Absolutely. All right, so let's jump ahead to February 19th, 2008.
Okay, 2008.
And focus on the Texas Rangers.
The Rangers, all right?
They made some smart moves that day.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
They signed Ian Kinsler and Michael Young to long-term extensions.
Locking down their infield, huh?
Exactly. Kinsler was known for his hitting.
Yeah.
And Young was the veteran all-star shortstop.
So what were the details of those deals?
Kinsler got 5 years, $22 million.
And Young 6 years, $80 million.
Wow, they were serious about building a contender.
They were, and it paid off a few years later.
How so?
Back-to-back World Series appearances in 2010 and 2011.
No kidding.
Oh.
So those long-term investments really can make a difference?
Sometimes it's a gamble, but when it works.
They can transform a franchise.
Oh.
Okay, so let's talk about a more curious contract situation.
Okay, lay it on me.
February 19th, 2009.
All right.
Jeff Francoeur, an outfielder with a strong arm.
Yeah, I remember him.
He gets a big pay raise from the Braves.
A big pay raise.
Even though he had a pretty rough season the year before.
What do you mean rough?
He hit just 239.
Ouch.
With only 11 home runs.
So how much was this pay raise?
His salary jumped from $460,000 to $375,000.
Wow, that's a huge increase for a guy who didn't exactly light it up.
People definitely raised their eyebrows.
I bet they did. So what gives?
Sometimes player value goes beyond just the numbers.
Okay.
You know, teams consider potential leadership, fan appeal, things like that.
So maybe the Braves saw something in Francoeur that others didn't.
Maybe they believed in his potential or thought his defense outweighed his offensive struggles.
It's a good reminder that baseball's a complex game.
Oh, yeah. Evaluating players, it's more than just looking at stats on a piece of paper.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to a player trying to come back from a major setback.
Okay, sounds interesting.
February 19th, 2010.
Right.
The Washington Nationals sign Chien-Ming Wang.
Chien-Ming Wang, the former All-Star pitcher.
Yep. He'd been sidelined by shoulder surgery.
That's tough. He was known for that sinker ball.
Yeah, and those impressive win totals with the Yankees.
But that injury really derailed his career.
So what kind of deal did he get with the Nationals?
1 year, $2 million.
So a low-risk deal for them, a chance to see if he could bounce back.
And for Wang?
A chance to prove himself.
To show he still had something left in the tank.
Those comeback stories are always inspiring.
They really are.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a moment to remember a beloved figure in baseball history.
Okay.
February 19th, 2012.
Right.
The Montreal Canadiens paid a special tribute to Gary Carter.
Gary Carter, the kid.
The Hall of Fame catcher.
Who played for the Expos.
From 74 to 84.
He'd recently passed away.
And the city was mourning the loss of a true icon.
It's amazing that a hockey team would honor a baseball player like that.
It speaks volumes about his connection to the city and his legacy.
So what did this tribute involve?
Well, the Canadians wore jerseys with Carter's number 8 during warm-ups.
Wow.
They played a video tribute before the game.
Highlighting his time with the Expos.
Yeah, and even their mascot, Youppi.
Youppi.
He wore Expos colors to pay his respects.
That's a beautiful gesture. It shows the power of sports to bring people together.
Even across different sports.
It's a reminder that the impact of these athletes goes way beyond the field.
Absolutely. All right, let's shift back to the U.S.
Okay.
And talk about a big contract extension.
I'm listening.
February 19th, 2014.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Reds made a long-term commitment to their young ace.
You're talking about Homer Bailey.
Homer Bailey, the guy with 2 no-hitters already under his belt.
He was definitely a rising star. What did they give him?
6 years, $105 million.
That's a huge investment in a young pitcher.
It was a sign that the Reds believed in him.
Believed he could lead their staff for years to come.
And they were willing to spend big to build a winner.
It's always a risk investing that much in a young player.
It is, but when it pays off,
it can change everything.
It really can. Sadly, our deep dive ends on a somber note.
Oh.
February 19th, 2019.
Okay.
John Newcombe passed away.
Don Newcombe, a true pioneer in the game.
Nuke broke barriers in the 40s and 50s.
And achieved incredible success on the mound.
Rookie of the Year in 49.
National League MVP and Cy Young Award winner in 56.
He paved the way for so many black players who came after him.
A true trailblazer, not just for his accomplishments, but for his courage.
In the face of prejudice and discrimination.
His legacy, it extends far beyond baseball.
Absolutely. Newcombe's contributions to the game and to society, they'll never be forgotten.
And that wraps up our journey through baseball history.
All connected by one date.
February 19th, we've covered it all from snacks and legends
to contracts and tributes,
heartwarming moments and somber farewells.
It's been a journey through the highs and lows of this amazing sport.
A glimpse into those social and economic forces that shape the game.
And most importantly, a reminder of the passion and dedication.
Of the players, the owners, the fans.
That make baseball such a beloved part of our culture.
So as you watch games in the future, remember every game, every play.
It's all part of a bigger story, a story that's still being written.
Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep celebrating the rich history of this great game.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into baseball history.
We'll catch you next time for another adventure through the world of sports.